What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Songbird, and I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Room 1002. If you're joining us for the very first time, you just stumbled upon the channel showcasing Atlanta's hottest up-and-coming artists, creatives, and innovators. Today's episode is featuring what I consider to be a powerhouse, and once I read this bio to y'all, you are going to agree. So, hailing from Detroit, Michigan, Ari LaShell is a classically trained R&B Soul / dance singer, songwriter, and producer currently based in Atlanta. Ari has had the opportunity to bring her extraordinary sound to world-renowned venues, such as Truist Park, where she performed the national anthem for the Atlanta Braves, all the way to the Sydney Opera House in Australia. Ari also works in the music sector of film and television on movies such as Will Packer's Praise This and Pharrell Williams' upcoming project, Atlantis. With this caliber of talent and creativity, Ari LaShell has also had her original songs appear on primetime television shows, such as Power on Starz and The Chi on Showtime. Her music was featured on the latest Lifetime film, Tempted by Love, and appeared on the soundtrack of the film Albany Road that was in theaters November 15th. I cannot wait for you guys to tune in to this episode with us. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and know that you are going to want to interact in the comments. Let's go. Hi, guys. I am so excited to be in the room with none other than Ari LaShell herself. Listen, if you tuned in to that intro, that bio, you already know that she is the real deal. But I'm so excited to figure out who she is behind all those accolades. So, Ari, I just want to thank you for coming over. I mean, you came with the looks and the vibes. Y'all, she told me her favorite color is orange, so I already knew it was going to be like this. The minute that she said it. Aww. Listen, I'm one of those people, I always start my podcast off with the same question. You know, if you had to give us a cute little, who is Ari LaShell, right? We already did a bio, so we know. But who is Ari LaShell in your own words?
Well, I like to keep it short. I'm a Creole girl with a lot of soul. So, you know, for me personally, I'm that taste that you like, that first bite of something that you're like, I've never had anything like this before.
Okay.
And you're like, but I'm really rocking with it. Like, that's really me. I'm that acquired taste that a lot of people, when they try, they're like, because, you know, that Creole, that soul.
That's
so dramatic.
Okay,
yes.
No, first of all, I love that. It's giving like when people ask you, if you could be a utensil, what would you be? Like it's just the most like creative but thoughtful way. I mean, like, you're describing yourself. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that that's really cool. And I mean, if that don't make y'all at least want to go check out what you do, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. So, start us from the beginning. I know that your bio mentioned that, you know, you are a Detroit baby, which I feel like is like, you know how Atlanta is now like music mogul, but, you know, back in the day, it was y'all. We'll give y'all that. Yeah. So talk to us just a little bit about like how you even came from Detroit and wound up in Atlanta.
Well, my dad has always lived in Atlanta. Okay. So, you know, I would come down during the summer times growing up. And just like being in Detroit, you know, listening, everyone in Michigan, I think in Detroit in particular, like there's a requirement. You have to take like music appreciation.
Wow.
So that's why like I feel like everyone from Michigan has a really good kind of sense of music, a really good taste in music at that. Yeah. So whenever I see like people who are from Detroit who live in Atlanta, I'm like, no, y'all have a really good versatile palette of music. So for me, like, you know, growing up in Detroit, I was always in like a talent show, or I sang the national anthem at the basketball games growing up in like middle school. And listen, when I tell you, I learned to face my fears at a young age.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I look back at some of them videos and I'm like, ooh. And it's like everyone would encourage me, but like listening back to those videos, I'm like, you know, I was definitely young.
Right. A young voice.
It was a very young voice. It was growing.
Right,
you know, right. It was in progress. And so like when I would just listen back. I used to do like Facebook videos and I would record myself on my Wii microphone. And I remember I was singing like Rihanna Man Down and
girl,
I was like, what I do? Rum-pa-pa-pum, okay. And I was out of breath in them videos too. Because I was listening back. I was like, this was before I knew how to engineer myself. So I'm trying to get the full recording, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, I was trying. Okay, I love it though, because you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And as I got older, like I realized, you just got to start somewhere. So Detroit, that's where I did a lot of my like just knowing I love music. And I feel like I moved to Atlanta officially when I was 12 and I went to a performing arts high school. Okay. So, at that point in time, I was really like invested into music. I was like, I know this is what I want to do. So, my dad was like, come on down here, come to, our performing arts high school. I auditioned, got in, and after that, it's just been music ever since.
Yeah.
Like I've just been music all my life. I'm just surrounded by it so much. And at this point, like I can't get away from it.
Yeah. No, it's funny because you give me the vibe of somebody who's like, when I was 2 years old, I was singing in the choir and my first performance was in my living room. Like I'm expecting for your parents to have some like video camera, old school VHS video of you sidestepping and doing, like, you give that vibe of like, music is me, I am music, music is my family, that is what we do, that is who we are. And it's funny because I was talking to her earlier, y'all, just trying to like figure out how did I even get exposed to you, your page, what you do. Yeah. And of course, I know at this point y'all are like, Golden Dream needs to have like some royalties in Room 1002, because I feel like every other interview I'm like, so it was because of Golden. Golden showed me this person. Golden introduced me to this person. Golden told me about this person. She's one of those people as well. And honestly, I can appreciate that my friend knows that I really want, like, I'm a top quality person when it comes to music, and I really want to only talk to people that are like top, like, I want you to love it like I love it. Yeah. I want you to appreciate it like I appreciate it. And I can see it in everything that you put out. Like, you love it like I love it, and you appreciate it the way I appreciate it. And I mean, just like, even the creativity in some of your Instagram posts and stuff, like, I'm like, I can tell that she's like real deal. Like, even if you hadn't given me this bio with all these, I'm like, no, she's real deal. So, you said that you came down to Atlanta young, early age, and your dad was already very invested in what you were doing. Talk to us just a little bit about that. Like, what was that relationship like? Because I know, we always get to hear about the famous people and how they got the momagers and the dadagers and all that. So where did your dad kind of fit in all of that? Where's your dad kind of fit in all of that? Like,
so my dad was like baby Joe Jackson, okay?
Oh my goodness.
So when I was like 12, my dad, he put all my sisters and I together. And so this is the background on my dad. My dad was offered a record deal with Def Jam because my dad was a lyricist. He was a rapper. Nice. So, he didn't take the deal because it wasn't really a good deal. Okay. But it was during the time like Ludacris had popped off. So, he was really, in the mix with some people. Mm-hmm. So when he was offered that deal and he didn't take it, and he realized, like, we liked music just as much as him, we would be in a car freestyling with him. Oh, so I came down one, it was like winter break. He had just got married, and he was like, okay, you and your sisters, y'all are going to listen to this CD of all these instrumentals. Y'all are going to find an instrumental, and y'all are going to record a song tomorrow. And I was like, okay. One day. 24 hours. One day. So we sat there all around the CD player, trying to find a beat. I think we found like a Young Jeezy kind of beat. And that's my guy right there. Oh my gosh, this song, it's like, I ain't Lil Wayne, but I'm stunting like my daddy. Like, we in the studio with it. He got me singing high. And I'm just like, he's like, Ariana, you gotta push it out. He don't know nothing about vocals. I'm about to say, is he a singer? No, he's singing church a little bit, but he's like, Ariana, you gotta push it out. Not telling me how to push it out. Right. I'm singing, from my throat at this point. Mm-hmm. Like, looking back, I'm not even singing from my diaphragm, not diaphragm. And he's like, Ariana, sing, push it out. You gotta hit the high note. I'm like, I ain't Lil Wayne, but I'm saying like my daddy. I'm just like,
y'all, please help me get her to like send us this recording. Like, I want to hear the CD tomorrow. I want to hear it tomorrow.
Y'all gonna use it as blackmail.
Listen, just comment, flood the comments.
Oh my gosh.
The CD. Okay.
So, my dad definitely played like a pivotal part in the music. My mom also played the clarinet. So my mom helped me with my tonality because, she wouldn't let me sing flat at all. We'd be in the car. She'd be like, Ariana, I love you. But if you're going to sing it like the song. And I was like, okay. And I don't know anything about it. I'm just trying to sing. I'd be in the shower. She'd be like, Ariana,
Now listen, the show is supposed to be a sacred place.
Nah, my concerts got interrupted all the time. I ain't never get no shower concert. She would be like,
Mom wasn't playing.
Girl,
I love that.
Yeah, I would try to give it. She would be like, you would try to give it your all. Because my mom will tell you, I could sing before I could talk. Like, she was like, you were always singing. Like, you never were a big talker. You would just always sing. Look, I like that. It's a cute storyline, The singer, she sang before she could talk. But
that's what they're gonna say on 2020.
They're like, she's a songbird through and through.
And that's my name. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that too. My stepmom, she used to call me that too before she passed. Songbird was like my nickname from her. So
we hear y'all. Y'all see that? We got that twin.
Kindred souls.
That's all I'm saying. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So Dad was like,
Joe Jackson.
That's crazy. Like, had y'all cutting records
on the way to school. He played like an instrumental every morning, and he'd go on Facebook Live, and we'd be freestyling in the car, him and I. And even now, like, my dad's my biggest supporter. He'll listen to my music. It drops. He'll be the first person on his page. Ari dropped today, y'all. Like, la 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 la. Ari LaShell. He called me all the time. He done met somebody doing something. I done told them about you and la 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 la. And I'm just like, thank you, Dad. Like, my dad really is my brother. He really supported me.
And it sounds like y'all made some amazing memories in the like, those are things that will forever be with you.
For sure.
Right? Like, especially like, because I mean, I would consider you like a rising artist, like just from what I'm seeing in the different rooms you're in. And so like, those are the things that are like, man, this is like my humble beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just sitting in the car with Dad, like, who knew? And I'm sure you had the aspiration for it to be all these things and more, but really just thinking like, man, who knew that it would come to this point? So this is something I haven't asked you that I actually don't know the answer to. How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay. We kind of in the same boat. No, I'm just kidding. But, and the reason why I asked you that is because, so that means that essentially you have been taking music seriously, even though you've been doing it your whole life. I would say almost about 15 years, like you almost 15 years in the game. Yeah. So, you went to a performing arts high school. I'm assuming this is where you decided I'm going to go ahead and major in music in college. Yeah. So how did you make the decision on where you wanted to actually go? And, what was the experience like being a music major?
Well, for me, it was funny because like in high school, I made my first mixtape. Like, I used to produce. I used to think I was going to be a producer. Like, I wasn't going to be a singer. I was going to be like making beats.
Okay.
Forget that. Me singing? I don't know. Like, I was in there. You can ask all my friends. My best friend Jazz, she was like, Ari produced our first mixtapes, our first albums. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
So we can get at you for performances, beats.
Oh, don't ask me for no beats no more. No, I've given it up.
Don't see how she's gonna try to take it back. No, man, we want to beat. I'm kidding.
I've given it to the Lord at this point. But I did a lot of production in high school. Music tech. Shout out to Mr. Roro. That was my favorite class. Okay. So that's when I was like, no, I really love music, and my family was like, if you're gonna go to school for music, like, learn the behind the scenes so you can communicate with people. You can, do it yourself if you need to.
Absolutely.
It's coming handy. Okay, I save a lot of money. I save a lot of money for real because, I know how to engineer myself. Right. I know how to mix myself if need be. I do all my content myself. So it's like,
wow.
Thinking about if I had to have a team for all of this, if I couldn't do it myself, I'm like, Now, I am grateful for my village because my producer, he set me up a nice little template because the template I had needed a little work. But you know, your team, your community is everything.
Yes,
so
it is.
I'm just grateful that I knew what to do, and like people who were more experienced than me just guided me along the way. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and I mean, if from what I'm hearing, right, to be able to do all that stuff yourself, I relate. When I first started my podcast, I did not have a team, and I still don't necessarily say that I have a team. It's like it's me and JD.
Yeah,
like it's the two of us. But what I can say about it is that when I first started. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. When I was in school, I was a performance major. So we used to have to take like acting and, voice and diction and things like that to be able to articulate and perform on camera. But I also had a deep interest in writing and editing and all of that. So I took script writing and I took directing. I took, editing for film and TV. I even learned a little bit about radio stuff. Like I wanted to be well versed because when you're creative, and I'm sure you can relate to this, a lot of times you'd be like, I really could do all these things. Yeah. Like it's really hard to choose one lane. And I think that's why a lot of the people that we see that are just like the face of like music or media or whatever, like we're like, dang, they do like 30 different things. And I get why, like, because when I first started, I had to edit my own stuff. Yeah. I had to figure out like, okay, what platforms are people using? I had to teach myself certain things because I only took one editing class. But shout out to Mr. Journey because it did come very in handy if I say so myself. But I relate to that. And I think that it really speaks to your craft, like how much you care about your craft too.
For sure.
Because I mean, it would be easy to just say, hey, I need you to edit this. But I feel like it also, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. For me, it's like, because it's my baby, I want my hands on all of it. Mm-hmm. Like, I appreciate, like, if I could, and JD, I love you. But if I could, I'd record it myself. I just don't know how to work no cameras, and I really don't too much care to learn that part, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. But it's like, I want my hands in all of it. I want to be able to say that looks exactly how I want it to look. It sounds exactly how I want it to sound. It's giving the vibe that I want it to give. And that might be a little control freak of me. But I'm sure we're not the only creatives who feel like that. That are like, I have to have my hand in all the steps, or at least stand over you while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I'm a big collaborator myself, but like you said, there's just certain things like I try to give people creative reign, you know, because I'm like, I trust you. This is what your expertise. Right. So I'm gonna let you rock out. However, if I got some notes though, I'm gonna let you know because like if I'm going to be like the face of it, if this is something that's a part of my brand, I do want it to still be in alignment. Like, don't have me out here looking crazy. Right. That's what it is. So it's like for me, yes, I trust everybody to do their parts of everything. But if there is something, I will speak my mind because I'm just like, it's a collaborative thing. So yes, do this, do that. But however, you got me looking crazy right here in 3 minutes and 22 seconds on the film. I need you to just, now my wig was off part. Why would you have that in the camera? Why would you have it on the camera like that? So no, it's definitely one of those things for me where it's just like, I'm all about collaborating, but I'm gonna speak my mind.
Correct. And I feel like collaborating, I'm working on that. Yeah. I feel like a lot of what I'm already doing is like, this is a collaboration. I'm telling your story. You're on my platform. It's like, win-win. But I also sometimes struggle with like working with other people. Yeah. And I kind of want to know, because I know that, again, we've heard your bio. You're in a lot of different spaces. You're in a lot of different rooms. How do you kind of distinguish? Like, I'm sure you get a lot of like, hey, I would love to work with you. How do you actually decide like, okay, I'm working with them, or I'm never calling that person again?
That's a good question, actually. So for me personally, it's about your intention. And I always pray about like discernment. So when people approach me, I'm like, is your intention to actually work with me? Is your intention to know my connections? Or is your intention to just focus on the art? Like, and not only that, I'm looking at what are you representing, and does that align with what I represent? Because if you have music out that I don't even hear myself on, why you want to work with me?
Yeah.
Because ain't no way if you listen to my voice and then you're reaching out to me and you're like, you want to collab, that you hear me on your tracks, because we are
not on the same way.
We don't sound the same.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if maybe people feel like there's a fusion of some sort that we can come together and create. I'm always open-minded. However, intentionality is everything for me. And sometimes I do believe that people reach out just because of like what they see. And they're like, well, I want my stuff on that. So I'm just going to reach out because maybe I can get my music on that show or do that. And I'm like, listen, that sort of stuff is about who you know. And it's also about like right time, right place, because some people are looking for particular things. I know a lot of people who want to go into like the sync world. They're like, I got this fire song. I just know it can be placed on something, but they don't even realize that it all depends on what the person is looking for at that point in time. It's not about what you have to offer, but about what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And if they are in alignment with each other, then that's when you're able to make those sort of things happen. But in a lot of the time, people are just like me.
Right.
And then they forget that the music supervisors that are looking for music at that point in time, like they're looking for particular things. They have to, if it's a period show, they're looking for period correct music. So either you can create music within that period, or you can try to figure out if your catalog matches what they're looking for. And if it doesn't, go find another music supervisor. Yeah. But I think that as artists who want their music on shows, they have to realize that it's a certain game. You know, it's not just, oh, I have this fire song, let me just pitch it to you. No, like what is the music supervisor looking for? Yeah. You know, what sort of projects do they work on? Do you have music that aligns with that? You know, and then on top of that, artists sample a lot of artists. You can't, that's an extra clearance. If they have to clear the artist within your track, they might as well just go clear that artist.
Right, and go get it directly from the source.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, it's so many different factors that come along with, you know, just the sync world that I think people don't necessarily know. And they just shooting their shot, and I don't blame them. Like, shoot your shot. But sometimes we have to shoot it with intentionality and making sure that, like, I'm forming a connection with this person, because why would you just automatically expect for me to do something for you and I don't even have a rapport with you? So it's one of those things where I'm learning to, you know, share what I can and what I will, but I'm also being very, you know, selective about who I build partnerships and connections with also. Yeah.
That's actually really funny that you kind of segued into that, because that was kind of what I wanted to talk about next. Like, you know, hearing about your roots and where you come from, and you got this dadager who's like, y'all gonna be the next Jackson 5. And then you go to school and you build this really solid foundation, and you come out of college and now you're just this like rising star. And again, in your bio, we talked about like how you've had, you know, music being placed on certain very popular shows and things like that. How did you actually, I mean, you just kind of broke it down, right time, right place, meeting these people, but, you know, how did that really feel when you were actually offered like, hey, we actually do want to put your song on this show? Or how did you even actually meet these people? Like, what was that process like, just in general?
Yeah, well, graduating college during the pandemic definitely put a twist in my plans. So, you know, nothing happened how it was supposed to. I graduated college. I thought I was going to go to Berkeley in Spain and get my master's in songwriting and, you know, be the Cheetah Girls.
First of all, that's like my dream vacation, because
I wanted to be the Cheetah Girls. And no, the pandemic happened. And so I came back to Atlanta, started performing in all these trap open mic nights. And
being the mic night scene is
interesting. You know, being the only singer there in those scenes, and then the sort of voice that I have, like, I get a whole bunch of compliments like, your voice sounds good. You sound like you'd be at a jazz club. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be here.
I'm not supposed to be in this room.
Clearly, this isn't the room for me. But, you know, I have to find my scene somewhere.
Absolutely.
So many times did I pay to perform. Will I ever pay to perform? Never. Don't y'all ever ask me to pay to perform, okay? The resume is too long at this point.
Period.
I won't be paying for
Talk
nothing.
your stuff now.
I'm sorry, but I've learned my lesson. I paid my dues, literally and figuratively at this point. Because what in the world? I had to learn a lot. But started working in film and television. I was a server, and I just got a call one day, and they were like, "Can you come fill in? You know, this person can't be here." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come sub for a day or whatever." I wasn't working, and it was for Cobra Kai. So after that, you know, the person ended up quitting, and I was just like, "Yeah, I come work full time." I had left the serving gig because I think I was like bartending or serving wherever, but I was just, you know, trying to do what I got to do until I could do what I really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So, I ended up working on Cobra Kai. After that, I made some network connections, started working for Marvel. I worked there for like a month, and then after that, I was just like, I can't do this. I couldn't. I was in the art department, but just the people that I was working with, I wasn't really in alignment with. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I need to find another gig. So it just so happened, you know, I called the people that I was working with on the show previous, and I was like, is there any other shows that you all are working on? They're like, oh, well, we're actually about to work on a musical called Praise This. And I was like, oh, that's up my alley.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
let me come up on that movie. So I was in a production office, and I was just working in the production office, but I was like, wow, I'm in a music movie. So we had a music department in the office, and we've never had a music department. So I wanted to introduce myself and just let them know, like, hey, my name is Ari. I have a degree in music. Just want to know what you all do. You know, I just want to learn. Yeah. That's it. So I just pop in, check in on them, see what their job entailed. Met the music supervisor, met the supervising music editor, met the music assistant at that time. So, you know, it just so happened that in that scenario that the music assistant position opened up, and they asked me, they were like, do you want to be our music assistant? Wow. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Like, wow.
Absolutely, please. Thank you. So I ended up working as the assistant to the music supervisor and the music editor. The music supervisor is the music supervisor for Power, The Shy, you know, BMF, My Wife and Kids, The Boondocks. So, you know, being under his tutelage, it was just, and I was just getting to know him and just being his assistant and just helping him. I wasn't trying to pitch my music or anything like that. And once we built that connection, like one day we were on set and we were just listening to music. I just snuck one of my songs in. We was just chilling and we was vibing. And he was like, I was like, you like that song? He's like, yeah. Who's this? I was like, it's me. Yeah.
That's slick. That's real slick.
And he will tell you to this day, he was like, you played the game really well, because it wasn't one of those things where I'm like, yo, I got this song.
Right. Like, yo, listen to my music.
Yo. Mm-hmm. We were just listening to like music within my sort of vibe, like Alex Isley, Lucky Day. And I just snuck one of my songs in, and he was like, yo, he was like, this is fire. He said, I need a song for BMF on Monday. This was Friday. He said, I need a song for BMF, like a 70s, 80s kind of tune. And I called my producer up immediately, and I was like, Brandon, we need a song for BMF tonight. We have to book the session. We got to get it in for Monday. Yeah. And so Friday, I worked 12 hours on set. We booked this session, like we had the studio that night, and we called some friends in, and we created my song Top of the World. And, you know, I had to fly out that next morning to Virginia because I was performing with the Philharmonic Orchestra for Juneteenth. So I'm like, I don't care what I got to do. I slept 30 minutes. I had like a 14-hour session. We created Top of the World. I got clips of that we were in there like just rocking. And we had Sherrod come in, play bass. We had Ken like producing and helping with some lyrics. We had Jay West in there. It was a great time. So I pitched that song to him, sent it to him that night. I was like, here's the song for BMF, blah, 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 blah. It never got placed. But it was,
the work was put in.
Listen, that right there just showed him my dedication to the craft of, because it was a quality song. We worked quickly. We got it done. And, you know, at that point, it just kind of opened up the door. We left it alone. I wasn't bothering him too much about it, but, you know, he started telling me, he was like, you should start recording yourself, you know? So I ended up investing into myself. I invested into my home studio. So I got like a microphone, I got my interface, and I started recording at home, and I would just let him hear certain stuff. And he was like, yeah, just keep at it, keep going. And I kept going, literally. And I was just showing him that I was serious about it. And so when we finished our movie, I was helping him move out, and I was playing him some more of my songs. And he was like, send me a folder. So I sent him a folder, and I randomly got a phone call. Excuse me. Randomly got a phone call, and he was like, guess whose song is on Power? And I was like,
that's so dope.
Ooh. He was like, you. And I was like, no way.
That's so dope.
And then I ended up getting another one on The Shy, and then we kept that connection going. So the story is just wait, put in the work, show that you're serious, build those genuine connections, and like, watch what happens from it.
It's really funny that you said that, because I was going to ask you if you had to give any advice, what it would be, because, you know, obviously I don't know every artist in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But from what I'm seeing, there is like a lack of appreciation for the craft itself, and more like, I just want to be in front of people, and I just want to like work with this person, or I just want to, and it's almost like people are trying to turn being an artist into like a get rich quick scheme. Yeah. Like, I just want to be famous, you know, especially with the internet, people just popping up left and right. You know, all it takes is for a couple of people to like your video, share it. Now all of a sudden you think you're bomb.com. Like, you know, and so what I'm realizing is how important it is to have people like you in the industry, but also like to put out these kinds of stories. Like for me, it's like, I could just go down to Gallery 992, pick 5 people. They'll happily come sit right here to talk about themselves. But it's also like, I can appreciate that what you're also offering to the community is quality. Quality. And that's what matters to me. I'm a trained musician. I've been singing in church choir probably as long as you've been singing in church choir. Quality means something to me. And music has to mean more to you than just people chanting your name, or you going on a tour so you can wear some brand that actually none of us really care about. Yeah. You know, so I really appreciate just even hearing that and hearing the humility. I recently came across this quote by C.S. Lewis, and it says, true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. And that really like blew me out the water, because I've always thought like to be humble is to like downplay yourself. But God's not saying downplay yourself. He's just saying don't make everything about you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's so good.
And you know, for me personally, like instant gratification, I had to realize like instant stuff doesn't taste good.
Come on now.
I like so like
that's a word. That's a word. Stop eating them ramen noodles. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hello. Look. Listen, y'all like ramen noodles, but then it's like when you get some actual ramen, or you get like some actual pho that has taken the time to process and to boil and simmer, and it's like, it tastes way better because it's not just 2 minutes in a microwave or however long you have your noodles. Don't y'all cancel me.
Because I'm about to say, you do 2 minutes?
No, I don't even eat them like that.
Oh, okay. Because when I did used to eat noodles, I was doing like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I heard it was like
I want them like real soft. You know what I'm saying? Soft.
Yeah.
I'm delivered. I don't eat that stuff.
I did eat it when I was like a little under the weather. I was in it.
Okay.
But
no judgment.
You know, I let it boil. Anyways, so yeah, it's honestly like anything that you want in life though, when it comes to quality of things, it's like instant gratification is only going to come and go. Absolutely. But when you want something forever, and I tell people like when it comes to music, you have to love everything about music.
Come on.
You can't just love, oh, I just want to, you know, be popular on the gram. Like you have to love the history, the technology. You have to love the performance aspect. You have to learn and love it. The production technology, the theater read. Like people really don't believe in music theory anymore. They don't believe in it. Everyone just wants to sing, but no one wants to sight read. No one wants to like train their ear. No one wants to have oral theory. It's like so much that comes into it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, I just want to be a singer. And that's why I feel like social media has did us a disservice, because you get these people who pop off online that have never performed in front of an audience before. And it's like their first time performing in front of people is like 5,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
They're scared. They don't know what to do.
Stage presence is crap.
Stage presence is non-existent because they just perform in front of the camera. And, that's why I say develop your craft in every way. Don't just develop it online. Go out to the jam sessions. Practice and work on your chops. I used to be at an open mic night every night until I realized, okay, I've done a lot here.
Yeah.
I've worked a lot. I've invested a lot. I don't go to jam sessions or open mic nights trying to pop off, like thinking that's going to be my big break. But I go to, just network with other musicians and, meet new people who are interested in my art and who want to be a part of what I'm working on, but never trying to, oh my gosh, I'm going to go and somebody going to be in the audience and save me.
And they going to give me the record deal.
I gave that dream up a long time ago. But I just use everything as like refinement. Everything is a part of the journey, and we should want to be of quality. We should want to be the best. I always love when people say every song that I drop is better than the last. I love that because I don't want to stay stagnant. I'm not a stagnant person. I love to elevate. I love to be the best at whatever I do. So that means learning from the best. It means being in these rooms and really soaking it in and not popping my stuff. You know? Sometimes you got to go in a room and hush. Sometimes you just got to be in a room and just listen. I'm in rooms with Missy Elliott and Janelle Monáe and Halle Bailey and Chloe Bailey, and I'm just quiet. I'm looking at them work. I'm, just seeing how they're in the room. How are they acting? Professional, efficient. They're listening. They're getting it done. And I'm like taking notes for them. I'm not, oh my gosh, like trying to, promote my stuff to them. No. Now is the time to be a student. And to really learn. So I'm always learning and just being a sponge.
I really love that. I've been saying that for a while. Like you've never really arrived. There's always something that you can learn. And it's funny because I think more than anything, my developing relationship with God has shown me that. Like this walk with Christ more than anything is what has shown me, like, you never know what you think you know. And even when you know a little bit, there's more to learn. You can read the same scripture 5 times and get a different revelation each time. Ooh. And I know that you are, on your own faith journey. I saw on your social media that you got baptized last year, which congratulations.
Thank you.
Glory to God.
Yes.
I just want to know what prompted that,
I felt like last year I lost it all. I lost it all. I lost I ended my job situation. I ended my relationship. I had to move. Excuse me, I need to clear my throat.
Go ahead.
So I ended up losing everything, girl. Like literally had to stay with my aunt for a couple months. I was in between jobs, I was working like 3 jobs at a time, ended up having no jobs. Going from 3 jobs to no jobs, no relationship, no nothing. Like everything was gone. And I was just like, okay, I've been in situations before where God has taken everything from me. Like I totaled my car one time and I had to move out of my living situation. And my job had just ended. Like that hasn't been the first time that that's happened to me. And I think that like God always removes everything and brings me better. So at that point in time, I was like, God, I just give it all to you. I'm at a space now where you're bringing new into my life, and I was being more intentional about listening to him. And he was just like, come to me. I felt like I've already given it to man. Like I've listened to man and man has only brought me so far. But when I listen to God and His Word, like I go way farther. And so it's just like I was like, God, I'm gonna be obedient this time. I'm gonna stop being hard headed and thinking that like I'm in control of all of this. So at that point, I was like, oh, you know, my church they had a message. I go to Raymond Women Ministries tomorrow. And they said, we're doing baptism this month. If anyone wants to become a candidate, you know, just reach out. And at that point in time, I said, go for it. Go for it. Especially because I had I go to church every Sunday for the most part. Go to church every Sunday. And when my relationship was ending, I kept getting messages from God. And I went to church one day after having like a particular message. And my pastor said everything that I said verbatim. And I was like, I know that wasn't him. That was God.
The Lord.
God was telling me. And at that point, I started being super intentional with like what I was saying and what was coming to me, my thoughts, because I was like, this isn't me. This is me. This is God telling me like I'm in alignment and I need to listen to Him. So at that point, I said, God, I give it all to you. And I was like, all of me, I'm giving it all. Like my body, I'm giving everything to you. And at that point, I gave my life back to Christ. And man, just the overwhelming feeling of realizing that like, you know, I can start over. You know, and that all is forgiven and that I'm walking with intention and purpose for Him. Like everything that I do is for God. It's not for men. It's not for accolades. It's not for any of that. It's for, you know, Him and for showing, just walking this world and walking this life, showing people how good God is and being an example of that is something that like is my biggest badge of honor. Is being able to show people that like, listen, you can go through it all and God will still, you know, cover you and protect you and provide for you. So when I tell you it's the best thing I've ever did, and the feeling, the journey it's been a beautiful one because, you know, they tell you, but they don't tell you. And I'm such a perfectionist. So I was like, when I got baptized, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to just cold turkey everything. Right then and there.
I need to know every word in the Bible.
Yes.
I can never make another mistake again. And
I had to give myself grace because I was like, now listen, I'm not perfect. And I have to realize that on this journey that I'm still learning, you know, we're all still learning, as you said. So it's like, I don't know everything, and that even when I think I know something, there's going to be something else that's expounded upon in due time. So at that point, I just started to learn, be a student again, and not be like, oh no, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. I'm a child of God that's learning, that's growing, that's evolving, and trying to be, you know, more like Him every day.
Yes. I actually really love that. Discipleship is the biggest badge of honor.
Yes.
Literally. Walking it out, living it, just being the best example you can be. And that is something that I am learning and working on, especially working with the youth at my church. It's like, you are the example that they could potentially follow. They have parents, they have teachers, they have friends, but they see you every week and you are like literally a cup that is pouring into them. Yeah. So it almost like, it pushes and encourages me to walk upright.
Right.
Because I'm like, if nothing else, there are kids watching what I'm doing. Wow, this was such a powerful session. I honestly feel like I could talk to you for forever.
Yeah.
And we might just need to have some like little girl time after this or whatever. But before we wrap up, I do want to know, you know, especially because some of these people watching might be hearing about you for the very first time. This might be their first and best time being exposed to you. Where can they find you? And not just on social media. Like, I know you don't do the jam sessions anymore, but do you have any upcoming shows or events or anything where people can show you some support?
Well, one, I'm in album mode. So that's what I'm working on. I'm very excited for that. We're getting the last little kinks worked out, and I'm collaborating with some artists right now, like visual artists, to do some special things for the project. I have some more placements coming up this year. I have a movie premiere coming out this year, so I'm excited about that. So the album, movie premiere, a couple of songs on a couple more shows. Just stay connected with me everywhere. TikTok, got some more flips coming, more content.
Okay.
So we're keeping it going. We're keeping the ball rolling.
I really appreciate you coming out. I think that this was wonderful. And I feel honored for you to be like my first episode of the year. Like we can't, y'all, did we not hit the ground like hard with this guest? Like, and I really do want y'all to make sure y'all show her some love. Of course, her information is down below in what do you call it? The little description box. Yeah, girl. I'm like, look, I'm not no perfect YouTuber, okay?
Listen.
Y'all know what it is. And you already know what I'm gonna say next. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. If you haven't subscribed by now, I don't know how you sat through the whole episode and did not click subscribe, but make sure you subscribe to the channel. You want to like and share this video as well. Leave me and Ari some comments. Talk to us. Be kind. You guys, this year I really want us to just, let's get back to that family element that we started with in the beginning. Give me your true feedback. Share the channel. You know, just be a part of the community. And y'all know I love y'all, and I will see y'all next time. Do not go anywhere though, because right after this interview ends, we're going to have a special performance by Ari, and I'm really excited for you guys to see that. So tune in, but until next time, peace.
Maybe you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, it can't be replaced. So no one else will love me like you do. That's why I don't mind to spend my life with you. I wanna please you in any way I can. Wanna share my world, what don't you understand? Your love is a 1 in a million. It goes on and on and on. You give me a really good feeling all day long. Your love is a 1 in a million. It goes on and on and on. You give me a really good feeling all day. Love it, babe, love it, babe, love it, babe. Love it, babe, love it, babe, love it. Love it, babe, love it, babe, love it, babe. Love it, babe, love it, babe, love it, love it.